Welcome back to the channel for another video, and for the first time in probably what seems like ages, because it has been ages, I'm sat down here and we're going to be talking about the pride of North Wales, Wrexham Football Club. I've got this absolute beauty of a shirt on today for the return of the videos. There's a reason I've been really unwell the past sort of week and a half or so I genuinely had no energy to get out of bed and click the record button. You know, I wasn't very well at all, but we're back today and we're back talking about Wrexham Football Club. We've got a couple of interesting topics today that we are going to be talking about. Before we get any further in today's video, if you'd like to see more Wrexham AFC content on YouTube, make sure to get down there and click the red subscribe button. We're on the road to 26,000 subscribers. Let's go for 275 likes on today's video, and let me know in the comment section down below where in the world you're watching from. So we're going to be starting off with the Huddersfield Town away win. I was there in the away end for that monumental away victory for Wrexham Football Club. A huge win on the road, and in terms of the magnitude of the game, I think this might be, if not the biggest away win Wrexham Football Club have had under Phil Parkinson. If we're going off, you know, where Huddersfield Town have been the past couple of years, the league positions of both teams, the league that we're currently in League One, I do think this is the biggest away victory under Parky and the takeover in general in terms of league fixtures. So it was a very hard fought out victory in a game which wasn't really great in terms of quality. There wasn't, you know, amazing chances all across the pitch. It wasn't like the Birmingham City game where it was a very high quality game. There were a couple of good chances here and there, a lot of possession based football from both teams, and I thought it was going to take that moment of magic going forward, and there was only going to be a goal in it. I was saying to my mate before the game, if you could put a bet on this, there's definitely going to be under 1.5 goals, because everything was screaming of it just being a very tight game, and it was exactly that. There's a lot of controversy as well regarding Wrexham's goal and Huddersfield Town's disallowed goal, but I've got no sympathy at all for Huddersfield Town when you spend nearly £1 million on a striker. He's one-on-one, 17 yards out, and it's like he's trying to score a rugby try or something. I have no, you know, sympathy at all for their disallowed goal. You should have scored the one from Dion Charles. You had plenty of chances in the game to have got an equaliser, so I can understand where they're coming from in terms of Fletcher being offside, but I genuinely do think he's onside. Yes, he's literally stood right on the line, but there is a Huddersfield Town defender on the opposite post, so I do think Fletcher was onside, and it's a very good call and a very bold call from the linesman. Of course, a lot of linesmen, I think, in that situation would have bottled it and given offside, but in my opinion, it's a very good decision. Fletcher came right off the bench. I think he was, you know, on the pitch for a matter of minutes, in and around the box. Sam Smith as well, you know, just causing a nuisance up front. And I thought second half, in terms of the game for Wrexham, we played a lot better going forward. I think there was only one, you know, major chance in the first half where I thought Wrexham could sort of give Huddersfield Town a bit of a game and sort of cause a bit of danger going forward, and it was that George Dobson shot which skewed wide. So there wasn't a lot in it first half. I thought Huddersfield, of course, had the disallowed goal, that really good one-on-one opportunity, and then, you know, Wrexham came out second half, a lot more confidence going forward. Defensively, I thought we were so resilient and did really well. You know, like I said, considering they brought Dion Charles on, they had Joe Taylor in the team, a £3 million striker, and I think he came on for 20 minutes and touched the ball once. So defensively, I think we need to give our plaudits, and like I said, going forward, Fletcher has done this so many times in a Wrexham shirt. That impact off the bench Stephen Fletcher does have is just ridiculous, and I think he might be, you know, one of the best players in Wrexham Football Club's history for coming off the bench, and the impact that he does have. He is a super sub for Wrexham Football Club, and, you know, I think we are just sort of going past the ball that Ollie Rathbone did put in. It was an incredible ball into the box for Sam Smith, right on his head, and I think he'll be very disappointed that he didn't finish away the chance, but, you know, it was a bit of a goal mile scramble. Fletcher was there to literally put it in from, what, 0.5 yards. It was literally on the goal line for Fletcher to tap home, and yeah, 2,000 Wrexham fans in that away end. I think there was 20,000 there in total. A big day for this football club, and an even bigger day in the promotion race to the Championship. Wycombe Wanderers beat Burton Albion at home 2-0. It was all eyes on Wrexham Football Club, and, you know, we didn't bottle it. We stayed in there. It was a very good performance. We knew it was going to be scrappy. It's not the prettiest of 3 points, but we went there and we went to a very tough place and picked up a big win. The away end on Tuesday night was incredible. Wrexham fans in fine voice, you know, great travelling on a Tuesday night. And I saw a tweet on Twitter after the game which, you know, sort of blew my mind a bit. 2 years ago on that Tuesday, Wrexham conceded a last-minute equaliser to Maidenhead United away, which sort of, you know, put our National League title chances in jeopardy. But here we are 2 years later, just 2 calendar years later, Wrexham Football Club have beaten a former Premier League side to keep in and around the promotion race to the Championship. How times have changed in such a small amount of time is just genuinely ridiculous. So a win I'm very, very happy about, and like I said, it's probably one of our biggest wins we'll have this season in League One. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What did you think of the game? Who was your man of the match? And let's get moving now onto another really interesting topic. We're going to be talking about the Kop Stand now. Wrexham's plans to build a new 5,500 seater Kop Stand have been given the green light by a planning committee. Wrexham County Borough councillors approved of this on Monday night. CEO Michael Williamson has spoken on the situation regarding the Kop Stand, saying it was a pleasure to speak in front of the planning committee today and share the club's excitement and ambition to deliver an atmospheric and authentic new Kop Stand for our fans. We look forward now to turning this vision into reality and writing a new chapter in the rich history of our proud club and stadium. So this, given the green light, I think was not only for the Kop Stand but for future work on the whole of the racecourse ground. Of course, they've got plans to eventually develop on every single stand. And I think the next step after the Kop Stand is up, of course, we have our priorities at the minute being the training ground and the Kop Stand. I think eventually we'll look into building that Wrexham Lager stand. I don't think there'll be a whole lot of work that will be needed to improve the capacity of the Wrexham Lager stand, but I think eventually it will be the Wrexham Lager stand which will follow after the Kop Stand, and then it's a question, will it be the Mould Road or will it be the Tech End after that? But nonetheless, it's really exciting times. I don't think we'll see expansions on any other 3 stands to come possibly in the next 2 or 3 years, but eventually, as they plan on having, a 20, 30,000 seater stadium, it will have to happen. So yeah, if we're looking on, the Kop Stand and when work will commence on that, we're looking at the end of the season. That's always been the plan. They've always said that work will start at the end of the season. And of course, the first step will be to obviously take down the temporary stand. And I really do hope that we can kind of get automatic promotion come the end of the season, because our last home game is against Charlton, I think, are like mid-April, end of April. So I'm sure they'll be wanting to get automatic promotion out of the way, get the temporary stand down as quickly as possible and start work ASAP. But if we have to go through the playoffs, then of course we're not complaining about that, but I think it will be a bit of a pain in terms of waiting for the temporary stand, bringing it down, and then obviously work starting on the Kop. But then it's a question of how long the Kop Stand will take to build. It's obviously projected that it will host the under-19s Euro Championships in the summer of 2026, so next year. Do I think it'll be up by then? Yes, 100%. I think it'll be up way earlier than the time that they are projecting it to be fully constructed by. I don't think it will take that long. I think we could possibly be looking at the Kop Stand being up by hopefully April time. Moving on to a topic now that sort of ties in with the Kop Stand, and that is that Wrexham Football Club have received a new £14.3 million share issue, which was published on the company's house on the 5th of March 2025. Yet another big cash injection into Wrexham Football Club, and it's all sort of pointing towards why this £14.3 million cash injection has come in at this time of the year. On the 3rd of March 2025, Wrexham were granted planning permission by the council to, of course, build a new Kop Stand, and 2 days later, the club have now received a share issue of £14.3 million. This all sort of ties in to obviously this cash injection and this new investment of quite a lot of money, nearly £15 million. This is likely going to go towards the Kop Stand. This money will go towards everything they want to do with the Kop Stand in terms of, building the Kop, the plaza outside. Yeah, and it's always a fun reading on Twitter, the fans, reacting to, the people that publish that Wrexham have had a new investment. Everyone just getting so annoyed. And if they understood and did a slight bit of research, then they would find out why this cash injection has come at such sort of a weird time of the season. I can understand why they thought £14.3 million after the transfer window has ended and sort of in a pivotal stage in the season where clubs can't spend money on players. Then all it takes is a bit of research and to educate themselves, and they'll find out that this money is 99.9% possibly going to go towards the infrastructure at Wrexham Football Club. But yeah, it is quite crazy to think, and when I was planning this video I was sat here thinking we have had an injection of £14.3 million. To think that like 5 years ago in the National League when the club was valued at next to nothing, it's just genuinely ridiculous, and it's something I will never ever get my head around. So the final topic of the video I want to talk about is currently injury news at Wrexham Football Club now. We've obviously had the news that Andy Cannon will be out for at least half a year due to his ruptured ACL away at Midfield Town. And of course we saw George Dobson go off shaking his head against Huddersfield Town. So could this possibly mean Phil Parkinson could be looking at bringing in a free agent midfielder? Of course, they're two big losses for us, and of course two midfielders that we are going to be without at such an important stage of the season. And Dobson's injury didn't really look too good. Of course, he came straight off down the tunnel. Could this possibly be a long-term injury for George Dobson? And if it is for Dobson, it'll leave Wrexham Football Club for the remaining 11-12 games of the season with the midfield options of Ollie Rathbone, George Evans, Elliot Lee, Matty James and possibly Tom O'Connor. Of course, he can be utilised in that midfield, but we've rarely seen that for the past season and a half. So, you know, if we're looking at that, it's 4 midfielders that we've got. There's still some very good options there, don't get me wrong, players that have played a lot of football this season and have proved themselves in this starting 11. But will Phil Parkinson want that extra depth in the midfield department? Of course, he left that one space open when he did submit the team sheet for Wrexham Football Club for the second half of the season. So has he possibly got his eyes on a free agent midfielder that he could be bringing in, you know, possibly soon to replace the void of the injuries of Andy Cannon? And of course, if George Dobson is out for a long period of time, there's been names floating around like Sheku Kouyate, Jeff Hendrick, Jake Livermore. But at this stage of the season, I cannot see Wrexham Football Club going for a name sort of that calibre. Of course, we could easily, I think, attract Jeff Hendrick and Jake Livermore, but Sheku Kouyate, a former Premier League midfielder, I just don't think it's a signing that Phil Parkinson would want to make. And by now, everyone should know on the channel, I want Joe Morrell. Joe Morrell is the only midfielder that I would like Wrexham Football Club to sign. He's still a free agent. He said he'd be interested in signing for Wrexham Football Club. Will we do it this late on in this season? I really don't know. There must be a reason why Joe Morrell has not got a club already. He's easily League One Championship quality, unless he is still obviously struggling from his injury, but we really don't know. But that is the one midfielder I would like to see sign for us. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think Wrexham Football Club need to go out and sign a free agent midfielder? Of course, our options are looking a bit thin at the minute, but Saturday we'll know if Dobson's injury is sort of serious or not. But like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Make sure to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in another video. Take care guys, up the town.